Hello Stampers, this is super awesome Stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wisconsin, USA. Thanks for joining me today to assemble your A Little Latte Kits in the Mail for May 2024. You might have purchased only 2 of them or all 4. So I had sold them in sets of 2, the top of the cup design, or sets of 2 for the French press, 1 French press and 1 of the side mug design. So let's swipe some stuff off and pull your kit in. Look for the envelope that says French Press May 2024. Pull out your contents. And included in your kit will be assorted pattern DSP. This particular pattern is from the new Country Woods suite. Thought I would just surprise you with something brand new in your kit. And in your kit there will be the Early Espresso and 1 of these Calypso Coral kits. I've already got them taken out of the cello bag. So I'm going to start with the French press kit first and Calypso Coral kit second. Now you will need 1 of these little mini beans on your pattern paper that is included in your Calypso Coral kit. So you might want to take that kit out and fussy cut all your little coffee beans and mugs. I do want to point out though, on the Calypso Coral, I did fussy cut some of these mini mugs. So if you flip this over, here's all the mini mugs. And you're going to have to decide how you're going to cut this out. But I would first decide which mug you're going to have in the coral, and everything else you can do whatever you'd like with. All right, let's start with the French press. And before we pull on our paper trimmer, because we do need to make a cut, let's assemble our French press. And for that, I pulled in my liquid glue. I will actually separate this out. There's 2 pieces on this die cut you actually don't need. The negative, that can be thrown, and this piece to the left. I didn't find a use for that. This piece that kind of fell off my mat there is used as the coffee in the carafe. And this is on the back side. So if you flip this over, you see the white, basic white piece doesn't go all the way up in the lid. But we need the little lip that points to the right, kind of peeking out on the right there. And then these swing pieces, they're kind of curved. They kind of gently curve around that white piece. So just kind of look at your piece and see how it's going to assemble before you grab your glue. This piece, I decided to do, I thought it needed to go to the bottom of the white. It's kind of add glue and work real quickly. So the bottom of the white is this Early Espresso piece. And then you kind of zhuzh that in place. So you might want to attach this brown piece first. Kind of push that down where you want it. Just a little bit of glue because you know it oozes out. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to pull this up a little bit and place it in between the left and the right, those rails on the left and the right, and then pull it down just a little bit. There. So that's how it will look. And then next, just going to put some glue on the horizontal pieces. If I can get some glue out, gently squeezing so I don't get a lot. And then that goes towards the top. Looking, anchoring it on the left where it kind of hugs around the white, making sure I can see the pouring spout, and then pulling it in on the right, kind of moving it into place with the centerpiece. Okay, now you can flip it over and you can glue the whole thing. So the top, up there, I'm going to put some on the handle. Flip it over. And if you didn't get these 2 kits, you can fast forward to the top of the cup kits, or you can just listen to me while you fussy cut all your cups out, top of the cups out. All right, and now, as long as I have the green glue out, it's gonna attach the petal pink to the early espresso mat. Okay, now I mentioned you need to fussy cut these little coffee beans. I already did one, and it came from this sheet right here. So as long as I've got the green glue out, we're going to put a little coffee bean down here for interest. As long as we got it printed on our pattern paper, we might as well use it. Okay, now let's pull in our stamp set. So I used these 3 ink pads throughout all 4 of the cards. For this one though, we're just going to use the Early Espresso. Here's the stamp set that I used. Latte Love, coordinates with the die cuts. Thanks so much is what I'm going to do. I just gave you a strip of basic white. It was what I had to cut off to make the inside liner piece. And I know we've got a lot of long, thin, smallish sentiments, so you should be able to find something in your stash that fits. Thanks so much. I'm done with that. I'm going to slide it all the way over. Okay, now I don't need the green glue anymore for this card. Off to the side. Just going to fussy cut this. Okay, now I think I've got assembled as much as I can. Although, let's just wait to do the ribbon. Before I lose my die cut cups, we're going to attach those to some glue dots. Okay, now clean off your work surface because you're going to bring in your paper trimmer. So if you might have noticed, your card base is not cut at a diagonal. You'll have to do that, and I suggest that you open it up and place the long part, the back part, away from you and the front part towards you. And then we're going to cut from upper right to bottom left on your paper trimmer. Move a few things out of my way here. Make sure I'm somewhat flat so I can show you what's going on. So line up your, well, it depends on the top part of the score to the bottom right. Line it in your cutting groove. Look again, make sure it's in there, it hasn't moved. And cut. You will need to do the same thing. Cut your pattern paper at a diagonal. Now, if you're making more cards in the future and your paper has direction, you're going to want to make sure you watch your directional cutting, but this is kind of asymmetrical. Doesn't matter where we cut. Okay, now bring back the sample and I can start adhering things down. Pattern paper to the top. Top piece, pattern paper on the bottom triangle. And all of these measurements are in the emailed PDF that was included with your purchase. Take a look at that PDF. All 4 of these designs are at the bottom or at the end of the PDF. But before you get to my designs, there are 19 other designs for you to look at. Okay, so fold this up, and you might want to grab your bone folder. Where did mine run off to? Yep. And boom, hold that down. Okay. Inside, let's take care of the inside pieces. Basic white piece of 4 by 5 1/4. You decide which pattern you want up. I guess maybe you wanted the hearts up front. You did the hearts up, maybe you want the hearts up inside, or I like this. I have the hearts up on one of the top of the cup designs, so that's why I have the swirlies up for this one. And this goes in this inside ear card. And then those 2 die cut cups, you had to put on a piece of glue dots so you didn't lose them. You had to add your own glue dots. Yeah. The handles, one goes to the right and one goes to the left. Okay. Now, flip this back. Now, let's get to the fun part. So take your bottom triangle, line it up in the bottom right-hand corner, kind of force it into that corner. And one thing I am going to do is put this right here. Now this is going to go over this. You're going to add some dimensionals or tape runner on the upper corner and on the bottom corner, not in the center, because then you're going to glue your card shut. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, because this is a pretty heavy piece. Oop, lost a backer. Nope, it's on my desk. Didn't go in the corner. Okay, I'm lining it back up because it shifted on me when I let it go. I'm just going to center this, or put it wherever you want. Maybe nudge that off. Yeah, about center. Okay, and there we go. Pretty, right? Pretty cool. Okay, now I have a whole host, 4 different neutral colored ribbons for you. I love crumb cake. I love neutral colors, and I tend to hoard them, but eventually you gotta use them. All right, so I'm going to cut mine. You decide how much you want at the top and how much you want at the bottom. Cut it in half, and I attach those with glue dots. One on either end. They aren't the easiest thing because it's not a full ribbon, but that's definitely pretty ribbon. This ribbon just retired, but I have a whole roll and a half. That I like to, and I used it this year, but I tend to over purchase the neutrals and then I need to use it up at some point. Can't keep them all to myself, rather that they go out and include that. I'd rather that they're included in kits, and so everybody can appreciate them. All right, and then since this ribbon is kind of dimensional, oh, if you have glue dots that have the edge, here's where the edge would work really well. And I'm gonna grab my crappy scissors because I don't have the smaller dimensionals or any edge dimensionals to put on here. Just gonna put 2 on the top. That'll kind of hang over that ribbon right there. Last, we've got some iridescent pearl rhinestones. You have a strip somewhere. I have a partial strip because I already used some. I put 3 pearls at the top. And let's see, I'm going to do the smaller pearls. You would have gotten a full strip, so you've got plenty of pearls, but it looks like there's only 5. Oh, and can I do this on screen, white on white? These are really small. Whoop, you know what? I'm going to just use the last 2. You can see what they look like. I do like the bigger ones up at the top. I think this just won't get a center one, and you can decide which look you like. This one that kind of jumped onto my mat, where are we gonna put it? Down here. Let's put it down here. There, so the kit or the card still has 3. So here's your first card created, the French press kit. Sample card right there. So I'm going to move this off and bring in the Calypso Coral kit next. All right, the Calypso Coral kit features a die cut square using the Stylish Shapes dies, some fussy cut words up there, fussy cut cups, and hello there, let's catch up. And then the inside is a cut piece as well. So why don't we do the stamping first? So inside your kit will be a strip again that you can stamp a sentiment on. I'm going to grab my piece of scrap from the first kit and stamp it on there. And then, see, you've got a little something right there, blemish, the manufacturing process. Hello there, let's catch up. It's going to be at the top. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Okay, I've already fussy cut, kind of at a different kind of fussy cut at angles. This one is a more closely cropped with rounded corners. So I've got that there. Next, let's pull in our paper trimmer and find the strip right there. That is just going to be cut in half to make the inside. You don't need to cut it in half if you don't want to, but I liked, let's see, where am I going to do this? So got a little bit of tension there. There. Cut it in half. And then your pattern paper. Again, asymmetrical pattern, doesn't matter what corner to corner you cut on. And then your piece of Calypso Coral, cut that as well. So bottom right to upper left corner in your cutting grid. Just look at it again before you cut it. Measure twice, cut once. There, done with this one. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of pieces on our mat here. And if you haven't fussy cut already, you're going to fussy cut the coral mug and a yellow mug. First, let's get the inside fixed up here. Got a piece of the Calypso Coral here, and I just placed it towards the bottom. And then that pattern paper that we cut in half, you just glue one side up, or opposite sides up. And if you didn't cut it in half, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, now this goes in the inside of the card. Let's get that in there. I do see I need to add the yellow mug. And I don't think I brought a yellow mug over here. Let me go grab one. So in your kit will be a trio of 3. I've already got a mug and those mini coffee cups from the back side cut already. Let me grab a yellow one. I'm going to pull the whole sheet in here so you can see the sheet that's available. In my sample card, I actually cut the mug at the bottom, and there's only one of those. But yeah, so you would have gotten a little more. I probably gave you a partial mug, so you've had a little room to cut the back side, those smaller mugs on the back side off. Here's what a full mug looks like. So that's the inside. And then bone fold that down. If you want the coffee beans up, you are welcome to have that up. I'm going to have the swirlies up. I like the swirlies with just the pop of the coffee beans on this focal point and on the inside. Okay. Now, a note about cutting your triangles, especially with your pattern paper, you need to do point to point. If you haven't done point to point, you've probably figured out it's not going to look as nice. You might have to shave a little bit off to get more of a point. Okay, now this is the center one, center square. And I'm going to attach the center square before I add all the focal point pieces. So again, I'm lining it up on the left-hand bottom just with my fingers so that they overlap. Again, dimensionals on those two corners. So dimensionals. And if you're afraid you're going to put dimensionals on the wrong corners, oops, you can just pick this up. And put some behind on the pattern paper. But you got to be making sure that you don't put the dimensionals where you're going to see them. I got my trash can over here so I can put these right in the trash now. Okay, now line up again, bottom right hand corner so the triangle and the card back overlaps. And then put your square over the exposed dimensionals, making sure nothing is shifted, and press down. There we go. Now, this ribbon is retired, I think from a winter catalog from 2022/2023, or the January to April 2023. I couldn't find it, and I don't have, sometimes I'm not able to keep all the catalogs because occasionally people want them, and I'd rather give them away than get them in the hands of people who are going to use them than have them sit on my shelf, because I've got 20 years of catalogs already. Okay, so now we're just doing the scrunch technique. You have more ribbon than maybe what you're going to use. I had 2 pleats there. We can probably do 3. Just cover up your adhesive. All right, again, we've got the ribbon hanging off there, so we just want to put some dimensionals on the top, maybe on the handle. And then we have these brand new embellishments. So they are called the Adhesive Backed Pearl Trio, 3 different colors, 4 of each. So I'm using off of a strip that I made the sample card in. And they're kind of orangish, reddish. They were a perfect accent. So I just did 2 at the top to balance out the weight of the ribbon at the bottom. And then I need to find on my mat my fussy cut mini cups. Now, if you don't like the mini cup thing, you can probably cut some of the coffee beans and put them at the bottom. They just needed something down there to weight the whole card. And then my fussy cut, this one's on me. And I actually popped that up on a dimensional. Let's see if it's gonna fit. Yep, it'll fit on one. And I can say, well, I like them both. I think I like the rounded corners a little better. All right, so we've assembled the French press and the Calypso Coral diagonal split. To complete these kits, I use the Latte Love stamp set along with the Calypso Coral and Early Espresso ink pads. And then here are the coordinating die set. I use the French press and the pitcher, the spoon, and the 2 cups to make all of the die cuts. And then there are additional die cuts in that set. And then the Calypso Coral used the stitched square one from the Stylish Shapes dies. And then here's the French press, so you can kind of see that and that. 2 teacups, and then the spoon is used on the top of the cup. I hope you enjoyed assembling the French press and Calypso Coral kits in the mail with me. Look for the second video with the top of the cup instructions if you purchase those kits as well. Otherwise, go to my blog at superawesomestamper.com and click on kits in the mail, and you'll see the links to order this Latte Love stamp set and bundle, or stamp set and die set as a bundle, in addition to all the ink pads as well. Thanks for stamping with me. I'll stamp with you soon. Bye.